This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Biden said their latest debt limit talks were productive, but failed to deliver a deal. Harris Alec reports McCarthy emerged from the hour-long talks at the White House to say negotiators for House Republicans and the administration would work through the night. The president said both sides reiterated once again that default is off the table, and the only way to move forward is in good faith toward a bipartisan agreement. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said the federal government might not be able to pay all of its bills if Congress doesn't raise the $31.4 trillion debt ceiling by June 1st. McCarthy is ruling out a short-term extension. The Department of Homeland Security is rushing to beef up its medical screenings of migrants after the death last week of an 8-year-old girl who repeatedly complained about health issues while in Border Patrol custody. Stephen Dinan reports medical personnel diagnosed the girl's illness as the flu on May 14th. The girl was sent to another holding cell with her family and given flu medication. Her health worsened on May 17th, and she visited the medical unit for vomiting and a stomachache. On a third visit, she appeared to be having a seizure, was administered CPR, and was taken to a hospital where she was declared dead. Customs and Border Protection Acting Commissioner Troy Miller called the death tragic and ordered a review of every known medically fragile case in custody and directed agents to limit their time in custody to protect migrants' health. The modern conservative movement that cut its teeth in the Cold War with Russia is now riven by deep divisions over how to handle the country and its president, Vladimir Putin. Seth MacLachlan reports many conservatives question the U.S. role in helping Ukraine repel Russia's invasion. Some are broadly skeptical of most international commitments, and others question President Biden's handling of Russia or even admire Putin himself. Skepticism over foreign entanglements runs deep within the Republican Party. A recent Pew Research survey found that Republican voters, by a 71% to 29% margin, want the U.S. to focus on problems at home rather than paying attention to problems overseas. That has spread 17 percentage points since 2019. Pentagon correspondent Ben Wolfgang recaps a gala event in New York City for the Jesse Rees Foundation involving retired CIA officers and others in the national security community. Named in honor of Jesse Rees, who died in 2012 at the age of 12 after a battle with cancer, the organization is perhaps best known for its Joy Jars. Delivered to children's hospitals around the country, the jars are packed with toys and other age-specific treats designed to keep up the spirits of young patients fighting against pediatric cancer. Organizers said the event raised $180,000, and 86 cents of each dollar raised will go directly to caring for children dealing with cancer and their families. And finally, Bosnia and Herzegovina ambassador to the United Nations Zlatko Lagumdžija said Russian President Vladimir Putin is meddling in the Balkans to foment a second conflict in Eastern Europe to distract the West from his war in Ukraine. He made the comments in a wide-ranging interview via telephone during a Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing last week, Guy Taylor reports. Lagumdžija also noted that Russia's messy failure there presents a chance for the United States and the European Union to seize regional influence lost to Russia, China, and others in recent years. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. The Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.